We are blessed right here in Kerry with the amazing seafood we get right out of the Kenmare Bay. And I'm going to show you how to cook it and have a great laugh on the way. So come on, step inside Treyvaud's kitchen. Coming up on the show today, a beautiful, so fast salmon dish. If you blink, you might miss me making it. Then after that, I'm going to show you a beautiful portobello mushroom with a little bit of sun-dried tomato and olives and goat's cheese melting in it. Caramelized red onions, you're going to absolutely love it. Then afterwards, we've got this stunning bruschetta, and I'm going to do it 3 different ways for you. And to finish up the show, a beautiful pork fillet with a lovely creamy mushroom orzo pasta. Now, I want to show you this amazing salmon dish. It's so fast. I'm telling you, like I said, if you blink, you might just miss me make it. So we're going to start off with kind of a guacamole, okay? So we get a nice ripe avocado. And this one's pretty soft. Might be a little bit black inside, but doesn't matter. The riper, the more flavor. So you just cut around, and then we just twist it. Look at that. Absolutely perfect. Knife into the stone and twist and take it out. Twist and out. So we're going to scoop out our avocado here. Look at that. It's so beautifully ripe and straight in. And guacamole, I know everyone gets so caught up on these kind of traditional recipes. Put in whatever you like in every single recipe. It's you who's cooking, and most importantly, it's you that's eating. So beautiful avocado going in there. And we're just going to kind of mush that in now a nice little bit. And we're going to throw in a little bit of lime juice as well into it, because otherwise it's going to go black very quickly. And now a little bit of salt, a little bit of crack of the black pepper. You can leave it like that if that's how you want your guacamole. So there's our little bit of green and red chili. Perfect. A couple of spring onions. Now I actually think that's enough of the white because I don't want to overpower it. Now in we go with that. Give that a little stir around. And I'm going to put just a little bit of olive oil just to loosen up, like a very small amount, a teaspoon. And it is as simple as that. Now, the reason why I said it's a pretty quick salmon dish is because it's going to cook really fast. So we're going to go into our fishmonger and we're going to ask him for a lovely fillet of salmon, and all the pin bones are taken out, and we're going to take the skin off. So here's what we do. Just go down at the end at the back like so, and then 45-degree angle along the skin. Just slide your knife through like so, okay? Nice and simple, beautiful skinned piece of salmon. Now, slice it down in 3 different pieces. Lovely. And again, this is gonna really help to the presentation. You'll see when I put the whole dish together. I'm just gonna do a little bit of salt and pepper. So, we're gonna put in a little bit of our olive oil and a little bit of our butter. So, in we go. Look at that. Now, presentation side down always, and seasoning side down always, because we're going to season the other side when it's in the pan. Now, make sure it's on full blast, nice and hot. And here's what you're looking for. Keep an eye on the side of the salmon. You can see it turning pink or opaque at the bottom. So when that starts to get about maybe half the way up, we're going to flick it over. So what we're going to do is now we're going to season the other side. Season, season, season. Every time you cook, think that. Sing a song to it. I don't care how you do, remember. Season, season, season. It's the most important thing in cooking. Now, what are we going to serve this with? A little bit of kind of maybe rocket on top. We'll put into this one a little bit of sesame oil. And we don't need to put in any pepper because rocket is quite peppery, and a little bit of vinegar, which I forgot. There we go. A little bit of raspberry vinegar, dressings, oil, and acid. Lovely. This is such a simple dish now. That's it. The salmon. We're almost ready to flick already. See the way it's come up pretty much halfway. That means we're good to turn. So get your palette knife in. Don't be afraid. Put your fingers on top of it, guys, to control the turning over. Look at that. Simple. Simple. Absolutely stunning. In about 30 seconds, I'm going to turn the heat off the pan and let the residual heat finish that off. That's all it takes. 2 minutes, literally. First recipe of the show, and we are almost done already. Listen to the pan. Listen to the pan. Now I'm going to throw in half a teaspoon of teriyaki sauce. Just a little bit. And look what I do with it here now, guys. I'm going to turn that heat off because I don't want that to cook anymore and make it all crumbly and break. If it does break, don't worry about it. But we're going to try and go for the seasoning on it. And now look what we do. Just a little bit of butter and a little bit of the teriyaki sauce just on top. And the reason why we always cook presentation side down first is because afterwards the oil is going to get a little bit kind of dirty and then it's not going to look as good. Okay, plate. And our guacamole. Stunning. Let's get our salmon. 1, 2, ha ha ha. 3, oh oh oh. Look at that, beautiful. Don't forget your little juice and everything that's in the pan. That's all part of the flavor. Just a little bit like that. Oh, absolutely stunning. Mix up our little bit of rocket with the dressing. We're just gonna put that on top, form it into, look, really simple, into a little ball into your hand like that. Throw up on top of this. And to finish it all off, 1 more spoon, a little bit of creme fraiche. You know, let the imagination run loose. Now, look at that. It's the start of the show. We've just after cooking an absolute pretty quick salmon dish. Cooking should be fun, cooking should be easy, but most importantly, it should be enjoyable. And we're gonna do a cracking portobello mushroom with goat's cheese. What is a portobello mushroom? This is what they're known as, portobello mushrooms. They're the large, kind of flat cap, they're also known as that. And we're just gonna take out the bit of a stalk as well. So a little bit of olive oil into our pan here. We're also gonna throw in a little bit of butter into the pan. It's going to be finished in the oven for 3 or 4 minutes, which gives us a great opportunity to clean down, pour yourself a glass of wine or whatever it is you want to do. Start it off nice and high. And we're going to put it face down like this first. Beautiful. Like so. Now, so we put them in nicely. That'll start soaking up the oil and the butter, and we just season, season, season. So now a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. Meanwhile, in this pan, tiny little bit of olive oil. We're gonna make what's known as kind of like a red onion marmalade, okay? So basically it just kind of sweetens up the red onions. Now, just because I'm seeing the mushroom talking to me saying, turn me over, let's turn over our mushroom here. Delighted with that. Season, 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 just a little bit on the other side. At this stage, reduce the heat. And our onions, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and a little bit of balsamic vinegar. And we're gonna let that soften down nicely. Don't be afraid to touch the food. It tells you what it's doing. And you can still feel completely solid. So it needs maybe 5-6 more minutes to really soften down, okay? And that gives us plenty of time to reduce our lovely onion marmalade. I love the balsamic vinegar. It comes up nice and sharp. Starts to fill the kitchen with beautiful smell. Now let's check our mushrooms there again. Softening up beautifully. Now what we can do is we can flick them back over. Lovely. Almost there. Delighted with that. Let's give it a little bit of a helping hand and throw in a little bit of wild honey. We're blessed here in Kerry. We've got so many great producers and their bees making beautiful wild honey. So what we're going to put into this is a little bit of our sun-dried tomatoes. We've also got a couple of green black olives Now listen to me. For this kind of paste, just use a simple jar of green and black olives. Don't go spending way too much money on the more expensive ones. So, a handful of the green and the black. I'm going to use them later on. My tomatoes. We've also got some lovely toasted pine nuts. And we throw in about, what's that, about two or three tablespoons of. You can see the onion is beginning to soften down. See here in the corner, look at that. That is exactly what we want. Delighted with that. What am I looking for? Oh yes, my cheese grater. So we're going to put in, we'll see, about a tablespoon of Parmesan cheese. Now, we might throw in a bit more after, but I think that is going to do the job nicely. Now, perfect. And we are going to put a little bit of our olive oil in. About a tablespoon. Might put a little bit more in afterwards. And we are ready to blitz. Now, this actually might work a little bit better if I put the blade in it. These kind of things happen. Stick the old blade in, squash it down. Look at that. Problem solved. We never panic. I'm going to turn the heat off my mushrooms there now, because they're pretty much done. Now, let's go. Perfect. Okay, look at this now. Onions. And this is now where the magic begins. So we're finished with that. And what we'll do now is just swap that for 1 second. The flavor of this is absolutely amazing. So here's what we do. A little bit of the paste right on top of the mushroom. Now, that's the paste on our 3 mushrooms. And now we're gonna just put a little bit of our onion marmalade or confit of onions, whatever you wanna call it, right on top of that. So we're kind of like building the dish. Look at that, absolutely beautiful. Lovely. And how we're gonna finish this, because I love doing this kind of stuff, we're gonna finish it off in a hot oven or under the grill for a couple of minutes. And of course, it wouldn't be a portobello mushroom and goat's cheese if we didn't put a nice dollop of goat's cheese on it. Again, Kerry, we're blessed with some fantastic producers. So just slice down. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. Slice down. Fabulous. So 1 goat's cheese, 2 goat's cheese, and 3 goat's cheese. The mushroom is almost done, so basically we just want to put into the oven 180 degrees for about 4 or 5 minutes, just for the goat's cheese to soften. Now, absolutely perfect. Now, little knob of butter. Have a good look at this, okay? That's the goat's cheese. It's softened, a little bit crispy on top, but it hasn't been in there for too long that it completely melts and completely falls apart. That's important, because otherwise it's just gonna be all over the place, okay? So you wanna keep a little bit of shape in it. Just for a bit of garnish, a couple of different mixed leaves, tiny little bit of olive oil, maybe a little bit of walnut oil, just something a little bit different. All with some sort of an acid, so just a squeeze of lemon juice. So just give it a little bit of a twist. Now, put that right into the middle of our plate. A few cherry tomatoes there, a little bit of salt and pepper on that. Simple, simple, simple. Palette knife. This is a lovely one there, look at that. Now, let's put that right on top. Look at that, just to finish it off. You know what we'll do? A little bit of the walnut oil around the side. It's a great vegetarian dish. Coming up after the break, we've got plenty more. We've got a beautiful pork dish, got a few other bits and pieces you're gonna absolutely love it. But that is a grilled portobello mushroom with some fantastic goat's cheese on top. The whole concept of the series is it's so easy to cook food. Don't get worried about time constraints and don't worry about how many ingredients you have to do. Just cook. It's that simple. So we're gonna do bruschetta, tomato. I don't care what you call it, just make it. And we're gonna do it 3 different ways. We've got some beautiful cream cheese or mascarpone cheese here. And we've got some lovely smoked salmon. That's gonna be one. Then we're gonna do beautiful spring onions and tomatoes. And then the last one we're gonna finish off is a little bit of chicken on top of a kind of a fresh yogurt and Parmesan dressing. We'll do the tomato one first. I have a beautiful sourdough bread, spring onions, and in we go. The tomato in half, in quarter, remove the seeds, and then we're gonna cut each quarter into half, and we're gonna skin it. Keep it nice and flat, so it's keeping the skin underneath it, and just work all the way out. Now, a little bit of a kind of a dice. And I say it every time with the tomatoes, never take a tomato straight out of the fridge and eat it. You won't taste a thing. Make sure it's at least at room temperature. So what we want now is to season it, marinate it, and for this one, we're gonna put in a little bit of the sesame oil. And just mix it all up. That's one done already. Now, let's go on to the next one. We'll do our creme fraiche here and a little bit of lemon. So don't go down onto the pit. Once you see the white, stop, okay? That's pretty bitter. And put it straight into our mascarpone cheese. We're gonna dice a little bit of the smoked salmon through the mascarpone cheese and then finish it off with a nice slice on top so everybody knows exactly which one it is. Put that in. Just give that a nice little mix up. Actually, you know what would be nice? A bit of dill, a little bit of dill, smoked salmon and dill. We're just gonna mix that up. Perfect. Topping number 2. Okay, we've got a little bit of rocket and lamb's lettuce there. Get a nice sourdough. We're just gonna put them straight onto our pan and let them basically toast away. The last one we have to do really is just our chicken. So we make our dressing. We've got fresh yogurt, and I'm gonna put in some lovely grated Parmesan cheese. Bit of walnut oil. Just mix it all up. How easy is that of a dressing? I also put just a little bit of oil on the bread as well, just to kind of help it along, and flip her over like that. Just be careful when you're doing it at home. That's very hot, obviously. And how are we doing here? We're doing nice. Just a little bit of oil. We certainly need our butter. So I'm using the breast of chicken here. So at an angle, straight through, nice and fine. Look at that. Nice thin slice. So what do? You know by now, salt and pepper, season, presentation, and season side down, always. Season the other side. And a little bit of our pepper. A little bit of garlic, and just rub it on. We'll start with our first one, with our cream cheese. Look at that lovely piece of smoked salmon. Oh yeah. Numero uno. You're gonna be amazed just how quickly the chicken cooks. How do we know when it's done? Touch the food, okay? There needs to be a little bit of give in it, but not too soft. If it's too soft, it's still raw, okay? Bruschetta number 2, tomatoes and spring onions. And I love the flavors. The last piece of our beautiful toasted sourdough, a little bit of the garlic, don't forget. Dressing there on our salad leaves. Our 2 little pieces of chicken. Oh, that looks nice. I'm gonna pick that one over that way. How does that guy look? Oh, that looks good. That looks so good. And I got a bit of Parmesan shavings here as well. I told you it was simple. I told you it was easy. And I told you it was gonna be tasty. And don't, for a single second, think you're gonna waste the butter. That goes on just a little bit. That's bruschetta's 3 ways. Smoked salmon, tomato spring onion, and chicken. I told you it was a jam-packed episode, and we're gonna finish with an absolute cracker. I can barely see. It's a pork fillet with mushrooms, orzo, white wine, and cream. I ran out of space. I was gonna put Mediterranean, but I didn't know how to spell it. Right, so let's get cracking. A little bit of oil. You know the drill at this stage now. And just a little bit of butter. So what is orzo? Orzo is basically just another type of pasta. And we're gonna throw in a few mushrooms here into the pan and listen to the food. Look at that, beautiful. Now, red onion, nice and fine this time. So let's just pop our red onions straight into our pan. Perfect. So let's do a little bit of seasoning now, okay? Very important that we get the seasoning in at the start. So a little bit of rock salt and a little bit of our pepper. 20 grinds and add on 2 more for good measure. Perfect. Pork fillet. The fillet is in underneath the ribs. And that's why it's the most tender piece of meat you'll find in anything. You see a little line? This is what's known as the chain of pork. So we're just going to take that off. So we cut it straight through and take off our chain. So the fillet, it's tucked in underneath 1 or 2 little muscles. So we want to free it from that. We don't want to have any of the little sinew bits in it or a bit of extra muscle in it. So just clean it all down. It takes 2 seconds. And if you're totally unsure of this, just ask your butcher to do it for you. Now, so that is all the muscles taken off. Knife in underneath the sinew and then point it up towards the sky and pull off that sinew. Why are we doing that? Because, well, it's tough and it's chewy, so we don't want it. Now, let's give it a little bit of a trim here and one final trim here. Okay, that's our pork fillet ready. But I want to get back onto our sauce here. So turn up the heat now that we're ready for it. Wait till we hear that bit of the sizzle again, so look. And once we start to hear it sizzling up, that's when we're going to add in just a little bit of white wine, and then we're going to reduce it down by half. Look at that. Beautiful. And now we can forget about that while that does its thing and reduces. We're going to slice just a little bit of the garlic nice and finely, not a crush this time. 1.5 or 2 cloves of garlic, depending on size. In we go. Reducing means concentrating of the flavor, okay? So now we're going to put in our cream. Again, let that come up to temperature and let that start to reduce. That's already cooked, that orzo. That stays perfect in the fridge for 3-4 days. Before you use it, maybe rinse it under water or something like that to loosen it up. So we're going to cut this pretty much at an angle to get nice thin slices like so. It's going to cook really quick because we're cutting it so fine and so thin like this. Look at that. So let's start putting on a little bit of our oil and our marinade. We're going to wash the board after this, so we'll do it all here right on the board. Plenty of oil. We've got our heat on the go. A little bit of salt. You know, try and limit the amount of washing up that you have to do. Put in our little bit of dried herbs again, and a little bit of our pepper. Lovely. Now, check out the cream here. You see the way it's bubbling away nicely like that? So you want to really drop the heat. You want that not to be getting like too fierce, just nice and calm. So it's thickening up. So drop the heat right down to a very gentle simmer. And now our pork. So here we go. With our orzo, we're going to put that straight into our sauce now. And we're basically just warming that through. Beautiful. Get it all in there, wasting nothing. Let's get a spoon and kind of stir in our sauce there. And already, that's a stunning little dish. So forget about that for a sec. Let it do its thing. So let's turn over our pork. And that's exactly what we're looking for. Look at that. The beautiful crust, the beautiful seal on the pan, because it was red hot when we put it in. So important. Pick over the next one. Our last one. Now I'm going to say something slightly controversial to you here. You're going like, what's new? But I'm going to turn the heat off now on that. We're going to let the residual heat finish it off. It's entirely up to yourself. The fillet of pork, in my opinion, can be served a little pink on the inside. Now we're going to make our kind of Mediterranean glaze. So let's throw in just a little bit of our diced, lovely sun-dried tomatoes. We're going to finish the pork off in the oven for about 10 minutes, not even, probably about 5 minutes I'd say, at 180. So let's put in our tomatoes. Let's get a few of our black olives and our green olives. Beautiful. Let's pop that into our little dish. And we're just gonna finish it off with a little bit of crumbly feta cheese. I love feta cheese, absolutely love it. And I'm gonna put a piece on each piece of pork and finish it off in the oven for a couple of minutes. And our orzo is gonna be ready for action. Okay, let's go. check out this. Oh yeah. Most of you are thinking, he put no butter into that pork. That's when we put it in now. Just let it kind of lovely melt away into it. Finish a little bit of a shine. Now, in all my cleaning up, have a guess what I forgot to do? I forgot to get myself a serving dish. So guess what we're going to be serving it in? That's right in the pan. This is how we're going to serve it. Put our orzo in the pan. It's one of those brilliant family dishes. Straight down to the table. Let's throw our orzo here. Turn off our heat. What am I looking for now? My fork. So let's just take your time. The pork is absolutely perfect. Right on top. Look at this. Ah, yes. This is what I'm talking about. It's a simple little dish. It's what the whole show is about. Don't tell me you don't have time to do these things. Took a few minutes. Always a bit of green somewhere to lift the dish. So when you bring it down to your table, there you go. Who's not gonna want to try that? Come back next week. There's plenty more in the can, loads more recipes. But for now, that's Treyvaud's Kitchen.